Welcome to the Uplifters podcast, where every week I get to talk to amazing, inspiring women, most of whom are well over 40 and out in the world doing big, brave things. I want to just set the stage a little bit today with some research that I very quickly Googled for the purpose of this conversation, which is that according to the Sundance Institute, even though women make up 50.8, or other studies say 50.4% of the US population, just 4.2% of the top 100 grossing films in America are made by female directors. Sundance Institute also says that that statistic hasn't changed in over a decade. Not so promising. But according to another study that I read, the percentage of girls and women as protagonists in films was at an all-time high in 2020, and it had doubled since they were first reporting in 2007. So what are we saying here? We're saying that there are some signs of progress. Yay. But I'm also going to say here that this didn't happen by accident. And it won't continue to improve by accident. It happens because folks like today's guest, who you will meet in just a moment, Mandy Fabian, really consciously set out to shift the balance of representation for women. Mandy is a comedian, a filmmaker, a singer-songwriter. Mandy's been making funny, sometimes controversial, love that. She has also been focused throughout her career on female forward stories and characters like me. She's a mom of 2 teen girls, and she's working on a handbook for life to give them when they fly the coop. Can't even get my head around that part because, as I said, I have a 17-year-old, and now I am living in this constant state of complex grief and denial and excitement, and it's just everything. Also, I know I really work hard to give us great audio quality on this podcast and to not have lots of background noise. But my mom is out of town right now, and she usually takes the dog during the day. And so instead of great audio quality, you probably just hear a dog scratching on my door as I talk. So I don't know, just bear with me on that, and hopefully he'll calm down. And if not, it'll be Mandy Fabian plus Arlo on the Uplifters today. Okay, so that was a really long introduction, but I just had a lot to share. Mandy, I'm so happy you're here. I feel like we're kindred spirits. I want to know everything about you and be best friends forever. And I don't even know where to begin except to say that I watched your film Just Less None last night with my girls, and I loved it so much.
Oh, that
It's
makes me
so good.
happy.
It's like so good on so many levels. I journaled about it this morning. I loved all of the characters. They were so deeply flawed and human and real, and yet loved. And that for me, that's what I'm always looking for in art is compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt your love as a creator coming through for the many flavors of archetypal women that exist within all of us. And while I didn't feel like I could say I am that character, even better, I felt like I could say I'm a little bit all those women and they're a little bit me. So thank you.
I love that. That's one of my favorite reviews I've ever heard.
Oh.
And it's exactly what I intended. Some of the believe it or not, that when I say that sometimes stories are controversial, sometimes they're controversial because you're not depicting perfect women. Because you're going ahead and you're depicting these flawed things, these complicated things. And, with this in particular, I kind of wanted to explore, first of all, a rom-com where a woman doesn't end up with someone. That's the answer is not a relationship with anybody external, but a relationship with herself and actually not even fixing herself, being okay with herself where she is so that she can start to move forward to do something different. Because I truly believe we all get caught in that spiral of I'm not enough and I keep messing up and I don't know how to do it differently and I keep messing up, and you can't ever, I don't know how you're ever supposed to move forward or regroup from something like that. Self-loathing is real. So anyway, that was one part of the movie that I like, that she comes to this place where she can love herself exactly where she is and she can move forward from that. And I also really love putting a woman in a typical, what we would call a female situation, which is a wedding. And she doesn't know how to do that. She doesn't know how to be maid of honor.
Mm-hmm.
She's not motivated by the same things that we've been told should motivate us as women. And she's
Mm-hmm.
awkward about it. And
Mm-hmm.
she also has sexual proclivities that are her own and loud and unashamed. And that also makes her controversial. And all of these things, I don't feel like they're controversial at all. I think they're beautiful. So that's something that
Yeah.
I love that you got it and enjoyed it, because ultimately it is absolutely a film that makes you go, well, how are we supposed to behave in order for us to have compassion? Because none of us are perfect.
Right. We're just humans and we're messy and we're making mistakes. And hopefully we are having breakthroughs every now and again and feeling like, oh, things are going to get better. Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to be braver. And that's really what we explore in this show is bravery in all its forms. And I'm currently working on my first book, and I will tell you, like, there's so much about it that scares the crap out of me. I mean, first of all, like, there was the whole part of just like getting a book deal, right? And that was scary as hell because then it was like, please, this is the thing I want to make. Help me make it. And like that whole journey was intense. But now I'm in this journey of like, this is really limited thinking. And I'm just going to be honest about it. Like, I'm going to make it and then it's going to be done and I can't change it. I am a highly
Oh,
iterative person who likes to continually update, evolve, and change things. And I'm going to put something in the world that's just going to like be there in print and final. And so
hmm
that's one of the things that really strikes me as an act of bravery for all like creators like you who are creating something that isn't, frankly, a digital website, which can evolve every minute of every hour of every day, or
Yep.
a conversation, or even a live event where it's just like, we're going to do, my husband's in TV news and he's always like, I have never in my life brought my work home because you air it and then it moves on into the ether. But it's a
Yeah.
part of this like giant, endless body of work. Whereas these things that take years to
Mhm.
create, a single piece. That to me feels like a very different level of finality and intensity.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm like creating fears for people, I'm afraid. But
No,
um
no, and when you are the writer, the creator, and it is part of your, this has been my life dream, this is what I'm meant to express, and then you put it out there, it is a very intense experience.
and you ask like thousands of people to bet on you and your vision and your ability to fulfill it.
Well, that's the crazy thing too, is like what you hope for is that there will be more eyeballs, right? Like certain things, you know, if no one's ever going to see it or people are going to see it and forget about it, that's fine. But you want people to see it and have it affect them. And
Right.
you don't get to control how it affects them.
Mm,
That's something I
rude.
definitely have learned. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. You just have to be, I mean, that's what, like, I think bravery at first, it's just, I think at first you do something because you're almost too stupid to believe it could ever go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, you're
Mm-hmm.
just like, wee, I'm a dreamer and I'm going to go for it. But I think it takes real bravery then to go, oh, I'm going to learn from that and I'm going to support myself and I'm going to do it again. Like I'm going to keep expanding into these new, every time I do something, I learn something that I didn't that I didn't know before. And it's an
Mm-hmm.
invitation to keep expanding, to keep growing. You go like, oh, okay. I mean, when I made my first feature, I was like, I'm done. Like, amazing. And I was like, oh wow, there's still more levels,
Mm-hmm.
still more things to get brave about.
So I want to talk about that. Like I asked you before our interview to share something that scares you, and I'm just going to read your response. Um, I said, I think I have more of these hard things than easy things. quitting my waitressing job to act full time in New York. Hey, been there, done that one too. Breaking up with my first husband, directing my first feature film, and then releasing it to the public. Moving to London, looking for work in a new city, having left everything except my family and a few suitcases back in LA. Choosing scary and hard seems to be my brand. I love that answer. And the big question that emerged for me as I read this was how you think about thresholds. Because it seems to me that you have been building a tolerance for doing scary, hard things that has allowed you to ease into each of those levels and then take a little bit higher, stronger, scarier, braver step the next time.
Yeah, that is very true. There is, once you have done something that feels so big and crazy, it's easier to do it the next time.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you still feel crazy, and it's sometimes you have your, I always find I do at some point after I've done something really brave and I'm really proud, I get this sort of endorphin rush of like, look at me, there are no limits. And I
Mm.
imagine how amazing and expansive and possible everything is. And you get excited because in order to be brave, you sort of have to sniff out possibility, right? And go after it like a terrier. You go, oh, I don't have to look at any of the things that seem like obstacles or would make this hard. Like, I'm going to go right for what's easy. And I find that I love that path. And ultimately, then I do, it's like the fear comes in and wallops me like a like when I go,
Hmm.
oh, what did I do? You know, I do get the fear. I just kind of get it late in the game after I've already really committed and started something. And I think that because I've been there so many times, I've just learned that that's not something that stops you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just something that you process. I always remind myself, if I was doing something that was safe, there would also be parts of that that stunk. Like if I had, taken a job selling something or doing something that I was good at but wasn't my heart's desire, I would have still had to report to maybe somebody I didn't love, or do reports when I didn't want to do them, or have to work on days when I didn't want to work.
Mm.
There's hard things to everything, right? But doing something that it is being able to tolerate the heart pounding unknownness. Like when you take a big leap of faith, it really is that thing where you go, yeah, I gotta keep taking steps. And sometimes it
Mhm.
doesn't look like a road. Sometimes it looks like a cliff.
Yeah, and sometimes it looks like, as it did for Jess, scrambling along a bunch of rocks in the dark.
Yeah.
So, I think you've really hit on the essence of what separates those who do from those who don't, which is that those who do bravely, boldly step into the blindness and into the dark and just figure it out in like each tiny step. And as you said, learning is such a big piece of that. And those who look back at their life and say, man, I wish I had.
Mm. Yeah. Boy, I just read this amazing poem, and I wish I could remember the woman's name. I'll email it to you after if you want to
Perfect. We'll
add
put
it
it
to
in the
show
show
notes.
notes.
But I remember the first line of it was, um, something about what you're feeling is a homesickness for all the lives that you're not living.
Wow.
And it's a wonderful poem that I will share with you. I can't remember the rest of it, but um, I think that I do fear more that each moment, each day, I kind of check in with myself and go, okay, if it was all over tomorrow, if you get the call like, hey, Thursday is your last day, you got to
Yeah.
jump, right?
Yeah.
How would you feel about how you've done it? And for me,
Mm.
even though it's been terrifying, a lot of these things have been very terrifying. I go, oh no, but I didn't let that fear stop me. I didn't let it stop me. And
Mhm.
one of the things that I have also gotten out of it is like I think the things that stops people is fear of failure, right? fear it's not going to go right. I'm going to
Mhm.
embarrass myself. Well, the good news is that I've embarrassed myself so many times. I
Mm.
have failed so many times. And I think I think at first when I was younger, and this is the advantage of being the age that I am, right? Like when I was younger, it was sort of like I sort of brushed off failure, like I was chasing this thing. I think I was chasing success, and worthiness and
Mm.
feeling like everybody's going to get me and it's going to be undeniable and I'm just going for it. And I think when I started to fail, like what I do now, whenever I take a chance and it doesn't pay off exactly like I thought it would, first of all, I don't really see it as failure. I see it as like, oh, I have to come to terms with a new reality. Maybe it wasn't what I expected, but
Mm.
what's this new present moment? What's
Mhm.
happening now?
Mhm.
But it's really, I I really just have to accept that. Then in the present, I think of it as like I'm getting closer every time to nurturing myself through a bumpy part of it. It it's moving through those things that make you understand yourself. It's like a roadmap to your emotions and your own desires, and you just go deeper and deeper. And if you're never trying, then it's you're not stretching it out so you can really see what's going on.
Mm. It's like you are cheating yourself of the nourishment of the lesson.
Yeah. Yeah, I find it very nourishing because I mean you can stay like this, and actually I applaud people who can. I
Yeah.
really people who don't stretch it out, like that's great. I'm not
People who
wired.
just like have a straight line. Is that what you
Yeah.
mean? The people who are like, I see it, I understand it, and I'm going to stay focused on this one thing and head directionally toward that without veering.
Yes. And they don't need risk. They're
Hmm.
not compelled by anything beyond, you know, just I don't know, just the things that are in front of them.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to be like, I'm gonna go there. Um,
Same.
yeah, yeah, I get very excited about the world and I want to participate in it in this really big way. Um, and I think that I think you do. My fumbling and embarrassing myself has made me learn there's nothing really that embarrassing. Like, who would I be embarrassing? What is my failure?
Mm.
Or what is something not working out? Like, what does
Yeah.
that even mean? And the older I get, the more I go, oh no, everything is working out, my darling. Like, the only thing that matters is that you're honoring your own integrity. Like, that's the thing, which I think for those people who they are honoring their integrity. And if my integrity is risk taking and trying and doing, then I need to find my solid ship in that. I need to find my self love and learning and processing and seeing if I feel like going a little bit further with it.
So it sounds like the non-negotiable is learning.
Yes, I mean if look, I still totally have an ego
Yeah.
in terms of really want it to be perfect, really want it to
Hmm.
be undeniable and everybody loves it. So
Yeah.
it still stings me if someone's like,
Yeah.
I didn't love that song or I didn't love that, Um, but for me, it's learning to be brave enough to offer it because there are the people that it really resonates for.
Hmm.
And learning
Hmm.
that the process of doing it and expressing it is such an achievement, such a wild, glorious achievement of the
Hmm.
expression of art coming in and
Hmm.
then being made.
Hmm.
It's a miracle. I just find it to be a life affirming miracle.
I mean, to me, the most important theme that is coming from all of this is the courage to act. And it is so easy to get caught up in the fear of failure, which is also, I mean, manifested in the fear of perfectionism and the fear of not doing the right thing and the right way. But literally, all of that blocks all of the learning, all of the nourishment, all of the growth, all of the threshold building, all of the benefits
Yeah.
that come from just doing it. And I think even, as I'm sharing my own fear about like, I'm going to do it. And then the door is closed. A, it doesn't have to be on my last book. B, I'm going to do a really good job because I'm doing it. I'm actually showing up. I've got a team of people who are going to help make me my best self, right? Like I'm not trying to do it alone. And so remembering too that it's not, no matter what, not going to be perfect. It's going to be just the best I can do in this moment. And it's going to be perfect for somebody and not for other people. And then I will, whatever it is, be really freaking brave. I'm psyching myself up here in case you haven't noticed.
Yes.
I'm going to be really brave about telling lots of people I did it instead of being like, I did it. This is the thing I watch so often in creatives. It's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to work my hardest. I'm going to be really brave and I'm going to make the thing I love. I'm going to make it the very best that I can. I'm not going to tell anybody that I did it. And then I'm going to tell myself it wasn't good enough. And
First of all, you're being called to do this, right?
Yeah.
Called to do this. So it's not even really 100% your responsibility in that way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. That's so
so
artist way of you. So very Julia Cameron.
really do think
Yeah.
where do these ideas come from? And also like
Right.
it's one of the things that one of the mistakes we make when we're going to the next thing is like we don't take the inventory of what we've already done. I mean, look what you've already built.
Yes.
There's a reason that you're writing a book because you have built a foundation upon which to move to this next thing. You've gathered knowledge, you've done this podcast, like you are ready for this. And
Yeah.
there's an imagery that I always think of when I'm moving into the next step is like when we start to expand, it can feel like we're smaller because the space around you gets bigger to make space for everything that you've got to give, right?
That's so good.
Yeah, it's like you go. It's I feel like, and it does it maybe pretty quick, where it goes, and all of a sudden your brain goes, oh no, I'm smaller. When that's not the case at all. It's that the universe, everything around you expanded because your energy needs to get bigger. That's what it is. You're not getting
I don't know if
smaller.
it's perimenopause or if that was just really beautiful, but I think I'm crying.
It's a good image, isn't it? Isn't it beautiful? All that space that you get to expand into. And our brain just goes, oh, no, too much space. I don't know. And then we do the perfectionist dance and we do the other cute little stuff. That's just nonsense. I mean,
And we try to shrink the world again so we can feel comfortable.
yeah. Yeah, when in fact, all you need to do is stay in that nice big space and bring those little devils in. I mean, when I'm going to work on a new project, it's crazy therapy for the first like 3 weeks of it. It's just dumb. I have to wrestle every demon to the ground. I have to like
You're like, you
nonstop
again.
meditation and yoga and like all the things, like journaling like a mad woman, because I've got to, they won't give up. So I have to just sort of buckle them up.
So instead of just trying to hope they go away on their own, you actually look at them.
Well, again, the space gets bigger.
Uh-huh.
And so they go, hang on, this is new territory. I better protect you from all this. And you have to go, no, it's not new territory. It might be a bigger bus. So I have to buckle you up in your little seats. I think Elizabeth Gilbert said this in her fantastic book, Big Magic, which she talks about fear, like coming along the ride with you. And
Yeah. And I'm thinking too about like, as you were talking about filling the big space, I was picturing myself like in front of a bear. And, they always say like, if you face a bear, like puff yourself out and like get really big. And so I was like imagining myself patting myself with like my people, my allies and my amplifiers and patting myself with my tools and my resources and my experience and like just like putting on a big suit of all the assets and resources and learning from this lived experience and then using that to like stand in front of the bear and be like, we are here.
yeah,
These last 20, 30, 50 years are here.
oh, beautifully said. Yeah. And that's why it's so important to take stock of that. I don't think it's something that we consciously remember that we have, because we're all like rushing and moving to the next thing and looking for feedback. And as women, I think we are programmed to take care of other people, to
Yeah.
make sure everybody's okay. Do you like this idea? Does this feel good for you? Are we all okay? And
And we
sometimes,
do that, I think, to take the view off of us.
yes. Yeah, I think so. I yeah, I think it's yes. And I do think there's a part of big dog energy that feels
Mm.
very masculine and
Uh-huh.
self-involved. And there's something about it that
Yeah.
there's a part of me that
Yeah.
goes, I don't want to be like that. But I think a little like what you just said feels like a very feminine, thoughtful way to have that big dog energy,
Yeah.
that like I am powerful.
But I'm
And I'm not
grounded.
just saying this, based on nothing. I have these years of experience. I have all of these things I've already done. I have I have known this thing again and again and again, and I have no reason not to expect that I won't know it more. You
Mm. Yeah. And that I
So,
won't learn more and that I won't survive more.
and you're giving gifts. I mean,
Yeah.
like you're every time that you offer something, you're offering something to the world. It's actually a very generous thing to
Mm.
offer your book or
Thank
my
you.
movie
And your
or
movie. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that you put it in those terms because it brings it back to that caregiving role.
that's true.
And it's saying, like, I am here in service. And I think for most of us, that's what motivates us. I've
Yeah.
done fairly large scale studies of women over the course of my career. And one of the things I asked in one of our early studies was, what does it mean to have a good life? And I read through thousands of responses
Wow.
and distilled it down to this. It means being healthy and well, and that means mentally, physically. It means being deeply connected,
Mm.
and it means leaving a positive impact.
Ring the bell.
That's
What's
it, right?
amazing. Yeah. Yes. I'm speechless. That's
That's all
exactly
we want, right? And like I hear it in the way you talk about how you do big, brave things. You say, I take care of myself, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's the foundation of all of this other stuff. Because were you to not take care of all those fears, you would find a reason, whether it is a physical ailment or a partnership that just doesn't feel right or
Mm.
right, like there would be a reason to not step in.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And the truth is, I think with that, what's going to happen is those reasons are going to crop up. There are going to be partners who aren't a good fit, and there are going to be illnesses, and there are going to be spaces that are unavailable. And yet you'll be able to manage them and expand the
I
lens to see possibilities.
Oh, yeah. I also think like there's the thing that I really I'm learning to navigate even just recently, because the more honest you get with yourself, the deeper you kind of go, uh the more that you sort of uncover another layer. Like, and every moment in your life is different, right? So you're like, oh, this is going to be, I am never going to do this moment again, right? Nothing, I will never do anything like I've
Yeah.
done it before. And there are new things coming all the time.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's the thing that I'm looking at now is kind of looking at these new ways to, oh my God, I totally just forgot what I was going to say.
We're here to normalize that.
Oh my God.
Um,
Do you still sometimes you're like, oh,
mm,
it's
all the
gone.
time. That's why I write notes through it. Because
It's like,
otherwise
oh,
I would be like, oh, I want to ask her this. Oh, wait. No idea. What was I so excited about?
I'm like, the thing I'm working on this week is something I can't remember at all.
But 15 minutes ago, it was the only thing on my mind.
I
Yeah.
know. Right.
Um, it's for me, it's not dissimilar to what I was thinking about as you talked about, like, all of these strengths and assets and resources that we develop, ironically, are the things that we forget after we work so hard on them. And so it's
Oh,
like right? Like, we push and we, endure and we, like, pull out every creative resource available to us, and then we are like, "I got there." Whoop, moving on. Dismiss
yeah.
it, forget it ever right? Like, what a freaking mess.
Oh, yeah.
And so it sounds like you have a practice built into your life of reflecting on those successes so that you remember.
Yeah, because every new thing requires some new bravery.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
I have to find my why, and my why is typically pretty much in the vein of all the things that make me happy. Like if my why of doing a creative project matches your description of what makes a good life, then we've got money, right? Like then I have energy for it. But in order to get past all of the little mental obstacles and little fear mongers and all the acknowledgments of things that make it hard, if I have a really solid why and a really solid like, because I
Uh-huh.
will, like I
Uh-huh.
said, I'll just put up all the things that stop me are like, oh, this probably isn't going to work out. Well, it didn't work out last time. Why would it work out this time? And why would I assume that? Because so I have all these, my mind will just put up roadblocks. I don't know if it's a human mind or if it's my mind,
Mm.
but I don't believe in accepting those roadblocks. So I'm constantly having to sort of navigate them and go, well, there's a reason. There's something that is accomplishable here because it's life affirming, because it shows you that life is expansive
Mm.
and that things are possible. I think that's my favorite thing about being alive. Like even moving
Mm.
to London, I think was
Mhm.
precipitated by this moment. I'm very fortunate. And my mom was willing to take care of our kids. And Patrick and I got to go to Paris for our 10-year wedding anniversary. And we were in Paris and we're on our way back to the airport. And I like stopped like a bolt of lightning. And I said, Patrick, we could move to Paris. And he was like, yeah, we are not moving to Paris. We don't speak French and we don't have visa. We're not moving to Paris. And I was like, no, 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 we're not moving to Paris, but we could.
Mm.
Okay. It was,
Uh-huh.
I was like, no, 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 that's not what we're going to do. But the point is, if we really, really wanted to, we could sell our house. We could look for a job or a visa. We could yank our kids out of this school, go to French school. Like, we don't want to do that. But the point is, we could. And it really like, if you start to look at these things that you want to do, you go, yeah, yeah, yeah. There's all these reasons I probably shouldn't and can't, and it won't go as well as I thought, and I'll be disappointed, and it'll make me angry, blah, 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 and everyone will laugh, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
I'll be embarrassed. But like if it could happen, it could happen.
Mm.
What does that look like? I can't stop thinking about that.
Wow. And like for everything in life
Yeah.
to
You know,
say we could.
and I think it balances you up. It's so important to keep that door open, because think about it, like all of these coulds. I may have to write this into my handbook. I like
Mhm.
this, but
Oh, no, I'm already, like, quoting you in my book in my head.
fantastic,
So we're just gonna put this in all the books.
fantastic. It's great. It should be. But like for all those coulds, it also helps you go, like, for example, no, I don't actually want to move to Paris. That's
Uh-huh.
not where I want to move. But knowing that I could makes me go, but could I take the things I loved about Paris and put it in my life in Los Angeles? Because we still lived in Los Angeles at the time, right? What are the things that compel me about that? So even by defining, what you don't want in what's possible, it can inform what you have in a way. Like
Mhm.
it'll make you double down, right?
Mhm. Yeah, it gets you clear on what matters most to you and what actually isn't all that important, which is where I think most of us look back and feel like, oh, I didn't make the best decision there. It's because we were making decisions for what really didn't matter much.
I think that's true. Yeah, I also think like I also think I've thought this. I've been having this lately too, which is just this beautiful love of the present moment. Like really trying to draw
Mm,
my attention back to that. I know that sounds very woo woo, but
no,
like
it's beautiful.
because it's really such a beautiful and talk about expansive thinking about what's possible. Isn't it great to know truly 100% that there is just not one thing ever, not one moment in the entire lifetime that you've existed that you can actually do anything about.
Yeah.
I mean, on
Yeah.
some
That's
level,
kind of reassuring, isn't it?
well, I do think there's kind of a, like, oh, I have a moment, I can
Yeah.
do
Move
something
on.
different. I can do something different right now today with my life
Mm-hmm.
today.
Mm-hmm.
I think, there's a certain, if you go back and you sort of retread and go, oh, maybe I shouldn't have, or, oh, I could have done that differently. It's like, well, but you can't do that differently.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
and isn't that kind of great? Like, what if that's the magical algebra of existence? Like, the whole point was not to put you in the past redoing things. The whole point was to have you right here accepting what is,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's where you're at
Yeah.
your best self.
That's
Like,
it.
if it was any other way, maybe we would have been given the tools to time travel if that was what we were meant to
Mm.
do.
Wow. Yeah. And yet we have so much fear of regret.
Right. Yeah.
And that can be a really powerful motivator. I mean, we did a study a while back when I was at Weight Watchers on people's eating behaviors. And we looked at a lot of the research around regret lotteries. And like, long story short, you can basically get humans to do anything you want if you tell them that they might lose out on something.
Whoa.
I mean, you'll see it in marketing if you start paying attention to it because it's like a really powerful manipulation tactic that brands use,
Right.
but it's also one we can kind of use on ourselves. And I think I hear people do this all the time, right? When I talk to people like, how did you get past the fear? So often they're like, well, I thought I'm only going to have this moment once.
Mm.
And there is a twinge of that. Or I realize that life is short and I didn't want to look back and be like, oh, if only.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
that's using that tool, that insight, to move ourselves forward instead of staying stuck in that tiny little bubble where we feel comfortable and safe and big.
There's also that really simple idea of like, I mean, it's not simple at all because when you're gripped in the clutches of fear, which by the way, I still get that way, right? I think because I'm always trying these big things,
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yay.
Yeah.
What a
But I like
signal
it.
that you're doing it.
So I have to find different ways to sort of manage it. So that's why I read a lot of books and listen to a lot of podcasts such as yourselves, because it's so inspiring. And, you always find something that just like reminds you of this thing. You go like, yeah, there is fear. There's fear. It exists. And there's all kinds of like, it's its own little governing body of something that feels like it's definitely right. And you're over here going, I totally get it. And you have a whole really compelling case for why you're right. But um, the fact is, sometimes you can really just look and go like, well, I could do the fear thing or I could do the fun thing. And like, I just feel like maybe today, let's at least put fun on the table and then see which one we feel like doing. Also, I think it's really great. This is a great way I do it too with the fear thing. I'm just sort of going on.
This is
But
so good.
okay, the fear thing, I love throwing tantrums. I actually, today, when my daughter gets home from school, I need to talk to her because I think she probably she used my computer and I think she read one of my tantrums. And I need to explain to her that this is something that I do and it is no way based in reality, but I take and sometimes I'll have friends, so I'll just leave it on their voice message and be like, don't listen to this. You can totally delete this, but I need to have a tantrum. And then I let myself be the most scaredy cat petty, mean-spirited towards myself and anybody else. I feel like I just let it go, and I just rage and argue for my own limitations. And I whine and stomp my feet and say how it's all so unfair and nobody ever helps me and blah. And I let that do for as long as I have to, so that it has its moment. And usually then I go, okay, that's that. Now let's work on the other part of it.
I love this so much. I feel like we need, you know how they have those like wind phones? So wind phones are these phones that get installed in various places in nature. I think the first one was maybe in Japan, but
Oh,
they're all over the world, and they're just like phones that you can call into basically to your lost loved ones.
yes.
But I feel like we need a tantrum wind phone. My mom and I talk a lot about this because my mom's a real like venter.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, Mom, your venting isn't great for everyone else's relationships. Because, right, like if you vent about this person to the
Yeah.
person who cares about you, it influences, right? So I feel like we need wind phones for our tantrums. And then we can just like let it out. It may be ChatGPT.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
like, let me give this to you. And I'm going to, because what you're doing, right, is you're acknowledging that all those feelings are there instead of
Yes.
pretending that we don't have fear and hurt and disappointment.
And you're also just acknowledging, in a way, the sort of neutrality of it. Instead of it just
Yeah.
churning in your chest and heart and mind and
Yeah.
taking over your life, and it
Yeah.
kind of gets in front of your eyes and filters everything through that lens.
Mhm.
Whereas if you get it out and you just put it in this neutral space, and you can own it as much as you want, but you're putting it out into a neutral space so that you can then make some room for the other thing, which didn't even have, it's like the quiet person at the table. It didn't even speak up. And you go, okay, fun. Would you like to have a word? What would you like to see happen today? You know?
Well, you do that really well in the film too. I feel like they're eh, victim and leadership mindsets are something I think about a lot.
Mhm.
And I think we all have access to both. And I think we get to see in this film a model of what the victim tantrum looks like and how it can reposition a person into a place of leadership. And so while we see it maybe in a bit more extrinsic way, we get to really visualize that through your story here. So yeah, for anybody who's like, what does this mean? Go watch the film and then you'll understand. The other thing that you brought up for me that I'm going to play with is because I think a lot about KPIs and filters, right? These are words for some reason I just use all the time in my life. And in my own journaling, I'm like, how am I filtering my choices? How am I deciding what gets through here? Because I consciously want more of it. And I have just, as a result of this conversation, added a new filter for myself, which is when I'm deciding between two things, I'm going to ask myself, which one sounds more interesting?
Oh, I like that.
Because interesting is actually scary dressed up as learning,
Yeah.
right? It's like, okay, I'm just going to like I'm going to try to get myself to the advantages of doing brave things before I get stuck in the potential disadvantages, the risks of doing brave things.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I am so glad that Elise connected us. Elise Hart is just such a mentor and a role model for doing big, brave things at every stage of our life. She is truly a lifelong learner. She's nominated several really wonderful guests on this show. We'll link some of those episodes in the show notes. But every woman who comes on our show nominates another woman who inspires her. So I'm curious who you would like to nominate for the Uplifters.
I am nominating my friend Jennifer Carter.
Okay. Tell us about Jennifer.
Jennifer is a brand new novelist.
Go, Jennifer.
She just wrote her first book. And I was her hiking buddy in Los Angeles, and we're very dear friends. And
Mm.
I got to hear every scary iteration, but she heard a passion and felt a calling, and she published her book, and she did her artwork, and she put it out to the world, and she's promoting it. And I know her very well, and she's just a person who lifts other people up, uplifter. She's definitely an
Yeah.
uplifter. And she's just brave. I mean, she's just so tenacious and brave. And so she's who I'm nominating.
I can't wait to hear how she does it. That to me, another thing that I am just constantly gobsmacked by is the human capacity for world building.
Mm.
And so novelists, filmmakers, people who work in fiction, I'm like, how do you do that? How do you see, right? Like, I just am in awe of all of it. As uplifters, as you said, we love to uplift other uplifters. So, how can we support you and your work, Mandy?
Oh, that's lovely. You know what would be really supportive is, first of all, I would love it if anybody wanted to go see Just Plus None.
It's on Amazon Prime and other places, but that's where I
Yep.
found it.
Yes. And the real way to help would be to rate or review it and spread the word about it, because when people, they might stumble on it, but we all have this tendency to sort of go for something that other people have liked first. And that's a way to have an actual visual cue or verbal cue where someone gets to know that you liked it.
I love that. That's such good advice too. I mean, it's certainly that true in podcasting, but frankly, we haven't had a lot of filmmakers on here, so I actually hadn't thought about how important that is in film as well.
It is,
Um,
especially if someone who doesn't like it, kind of, if they write something,
yeah,
it can really push people away, and they won't
yeah.
ever know if they would have had a totally different experience. So if people have a good experience and then offer that up, then, if they, other people might at least give it the shot to see if they like it or don't like it. That would
I
be, I love hearing people's thoughts on the movie.
I really liked it, as you know, and we'll
Yes.
definitely go rate and review. And I think that for me is just another really important reminder that just as big, brave things is an active process, so is uplifting. And it really is moving past the thinking and the contemplation and the analysis of what to
Yeah.
say, how to say it, and just staying in the moment, to your point. And I tried to write down a little bit of the Mandy Fabian recipe here for doing big brave things. We'll see how it goes. It is all in active tense. It is acting, learning, accepting, receiving nourishment,
Mm.
and in the moment. Thank you so much for being here. I still have like 1,000 other things I want to talk to you about. So we'll have to talk again about the next big brave thing you do.
Likewise. That would be great. Thank you so much. This was just a total pleasure, and I love you.
My joy, right back at you. Thanks for watching the Uplifters podcast. If this inspired you, hit subscribe and tap the bell to stay uplifted. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs a little lift today. Big love.
Painted water sunshine with rosemary and thyme. Dwell in the perplexing, though you find it vexing. Toss a star and hover, be your own best lover. Relish in a new prime, plant a tree in springtime. Dance with idle hindsight, bring the sun to twilight.